I made this video as a tribute to honor all the lives lost on September 11th, 2001. This was a very sad day in history. Our nation was under attack. 2,977 people lost their lives, and more than 6,000 people were injured, making 9/11 one of the greatest tragedies ever. Down below in the description, you'll find a link to the Never Forget Fund, which supports the 9/11 Memorial and Museum's efforts to ensure future generations never forget the lessons of 9/11. In this video, I will share with you my experience visiting the One World Trade Center and the 9/11 Memorial and Museum. I traveled to New York just before the pandemic hit back in early 2020, and the 9/11 Memorial was on the top of my list of places I wanted to visit. And this ended up being a very emotional experience, reliving the events of that tragic day. The first building I visited was the One World Trade Center. Since 2013, this is the tallest building in North America in the Western Hemisphere, standing at a height of 1,776 feet. The One World Observatory tour starts out with a state-of-the-art elevator ride, climbing 102 stories in just 47 seconds, while showing the history of the New York skyline on panoramic screens inside the elevator.
Welcome to One World Observatory.
After reaching the observatory floor, you are then greeted by a breathtaking presentation at the Forever Theater, highlighting memorable moments, faces, and iconic places viewable from the One World Observatory.
Dynamic, diverse, and ever-changing, the city and skyline reveal themselves uniquely to each observer. Experience the infinite facets of the city beneath us as you prepare to see forever. And now, we invite you to enter One World Observatory through the doors on your right, where a spectacular 360-degree view of the city awaits directly below you.
This was a very cool presentation that was displayed on giant drop-down screens. From this point, you can follow a tour guide, or just explore the area on your own, as I did. There's also some optional interactive tablets that you can grab that will provide info for all the iconic places viewable from the observatory. Here is a look at some of the views that can be seen. Since this is the tallest building in New York, you can pretty much see all of New York City, thanks to the giant windows surrounding the entire floor, creating a 360-degree view. The prices for this tour will vary. I chose one of the cheaper packages that was around $40. The One World Trade Center pays homage to the Twin Towers and was built in the location of the original 6 World Trade Center building. Our next stop was the 9/11 Museum and Memorial. The cost of admission was around $30. Inside the museum, you'll see a lot of artifacts from the Twin Towers, with descriptions that tell the story of each item. Here's a look at some of the original slurry walls used to construct the Twin Towers. And here's one of the original staircases for the Twin Towers. And here is some very inspiring words on display. No day shall erase you from the memory of time. This mangled piece of steel is a section from the face of the North Tower where the plane crashed. This is a very powerful and emotional display that really tells a story. This elevator motor powered one of the express cars for the Twin Towers. The FDNY Ladder Company 3 truck had 11 responders that entered the North Tower. On September 11th, there were thousands of uniformed responders who collectively formed the largest dispatch of non-military emergency personnel in the history of the nation. This giant steel beam really shows some of the devastation caused by the 9/11 attacks. Out of more than 40,000 windows in the Twin Towers, all of them shattered except for one from the 82nd floor of the South Tower. And here's a couple more up-close pictures of the slurry wall and some column remnants. What I'm showing in this video is just a small portion of the exhibit. There's so much more to see in person, including very personal items, such as driver's licenses, wallets, purses, and phones. I found this part of the exhibit to be the most emotional experience, and I felt very sad seeing all these personal items from the people who passed away on 9/11. There's even clothing and goods from the stores that were located at the Twin Towers that display a frozen in time visual from the aftermath of the 9/11 attacks. And our last stop was the 9/11 Memorial Pools. These pools sit in the footprints of the former North and South Towers. These pools contain the largest man-made waterfalls in North America, each descending 30 feet into a square basin. From there, the water drops another 20 feet into a smaller central void. The names of 2,983 people who were killed in the 2001 and 1993 terrorist attacks are inscribed in bronze on the edges of the memorial pools. The names are grouped by the locations and circumstances in which the victims found themselves during the attacks. We are approaching the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks. I was only 21 years old when this happened, and I remember this day vividly. Our nation was under lockdown, and we had no idea where to go or what to do because we didn't know when and where the next attack was going to happen. We have all learned lessons from the 9/11 attack and have become a stronger nation together, and we must continue to improve as a nation and never forget.